With age comes a certain gravitas, a self-assurance and maturity. With youth, there is the brashness of action and freshness of thought. Whether you are a young brand or an established one, branding allows you to connect with your audience on an emotional level. An umbilical cord of values, history, and sometimes even vision. In this episode of Branded for Success, we look at established and young brands and discover if there are common ingredients that make them tick. Does branding enable established brands to stay young and young brands to gracefully mature?
Smile Inc. was established in 1997, and we are currently in our 15th year of operations. Branding has been fundamental in establishing our identity and positioning in the minds of the public and consumers. The Smile Inc. concept is all about transforming and beautifying smiles. Its brand philosophy is to provide high-quality dental care, utilizing the latest technologies and specialist expertise in reconstructive and cosmetic dentistry.
Branding at its best does not sell you a product, it sells you a lifestyle. Brands that are able to sift out that veritable pot of gold and pitch themselves as the lifestyle you desire have won half the battle.
Take for example our name Smile Inc., which at the time of incorporation was a marked departure from the regular practice of naming medical and dental entities after the names of their practitioners or location. We always strive to be a leader in our field, not only in dental techniques and technologies, but also in the design elements of our facilities. From being the first to introduce chairside teeth whitening procedures in Singapore, to being the earliest to fully computerize our operations from front office to back room. For instance, our first Smile Inc. practice at Suntec City, to our latest reconstructive and aesthetic practice at Mandarin Gallery, are examples of how we push the envelope in design to achieve cutting-edge boutique-like practices.
With a carefully thought-out structure and a systematic approach to maintaining Smile Inc.'s brand position, the success of Smile Inc. has changed many people's perception of the industry. Even competitors have started to rethink the way they approach the business.
Since Smile Inc.'s entry, the dental industry has changed from one associated with pain and fear of visiting the dentist to one associated with enhancing one's self-esteem and confidence through an improved smile. Dental surgeons no longer play second fiddle to our medical cousins, and dentistry is as popular and as sought after as medicine as a career choice. More importantly, Smile Inc. has led the way towards the liberalization of advertising in the medical and dental industries, leading to greater awareness and information to consumers to make more informed choices.
I love coming here because it's so warm and inviting, and it's not like other dentists where it's cold and you dread going there. It's like I really like coming here.
In a relatively short time, by daring to be different, to take a distinctive, and some would say alternative approach to positioning the brand, Smile Inc.'s success is the validation of a well-thought-out branding strategy.
I think the atmosphere is very smart and maybe a little bit hip. The ambiance is a little different. It doesn't look like a normal dentist's office.
We intend to grow the Smile Inc. brand by bringing our concept and experience to the region, in particular Malaysia, Indonesia, and China. This will increase the footprint for Smile Inc. and further reinforce our brand identity and recognition.
By being what its competitors are not, Smile Inc. has plenty of reasons to smile aloud these days.
UGS started since 1993. We are in the traditional industry. Branding helps us to build professionalism, gain awareness, and the confidence of old and new generation.
Hands-on entrepreneurs who started working from the ground up, Thomas and Jessica literally built UGS from scratch. While the business grew quickly, Jessica had enough foresight to understand that without proper branding, there was a limit to that growth.
We decided to do a rebranding. It's because our company name, which used to be called ourselves Unique Guest. So people, especially our client, our customer, can't remember our company name. They always like to associate Thomas, which is my partner, and then when they call up, they seems like it's difficulty for them to pronounce our company name. So they call, Thomas, Thomas Guest. So that's why he remind us that we have to move ourselves away to say from Thomas. So we have our new brand name as 3 alphabet to make them easier to remember and recognize. So we call ourselves UGS. While we are in planning of design or logo, I have requested not to include cylinder and flame because I find that my company is not only supply cylinder gas. We provide them other than cylinder gas like service, maintenance, and setting up the system. We have added an icon at the corner there, which is a 4 arrowhead. This 4 arrowhead actually means that a customer come in 4 different directions. And then they meet in the midpoint here and stop over here because they manage to find the solution they need for all kinds of problems for LPG needs. Other than that, in order to differentiate ourselves, we avoid to use common color as what our industry have commonly used like green and blue. We choose to use brown.
When we return, find out how UGS's rebranding exercise played a huge part in boosting staff morale. Welcome back to Branded for Success. UGS not only applied the branding philosophy to its overall image, but also to the way the company was organized and run. Not only did the rebranding exercise target UGS's customers, it was also executed with its staff firmly in mind.
We not just give them an external makeover, but an internal makeover as well. I realized that my staff feel shy to tell people they are delivering gas. But I look at it differently. With their skill, they are professional. We always remind them and counsel them, stay cool when you meet up customer and get yourself prepared because the customer are stressed when they encounter problems. We are not there for argue. We are there to help them to solve their problems. I always believe happy staff, happy customer.
A brand that lives its philosophy from top to bottom invariably has a much better chance of surviving the cutthroat business environment.
My advice to new brands is to get involved in campaigns such as event sponsorship. Award participation is important too. It helps to gain awareness and confidence of your customer in a brand.
Branding is an important process in creating an emotional connection with its audience. At UGS, the audience is both customer and staff, and it has meant a sterling reputation amongst its customers, a highly motivated staff, and a business that has grown exponentially.
Branding is like a health screening for a company. It highlights our strength and identify our weaknesses and allow us to stand out from the rest. After all, we are unique.
New kid on the block? UGS certainly isn't anymore.
Po Heng has been around for 63 years. It was started by my father, Cheng Tok Ngam. He had to find a business philosophy. And the one he decided that was best in the goldsmith trade was to gain the trust of the customer. That means all jewelry must be up to the standard in terms of gold content, also in terms of the finishing, the workmanship. It must be the best in Singapore. Eventually, he earned the respect and the trust of the Singaporean.
For over 60 years, Po Heng has been synonymous with gold. However, even as gold and jewelry has increased its mass appeal as fashion accessories, Po Heng's appeal to its demographic has been unwavering.
The founder of Po Heng put in all the effort to establish the bondage with the customer based on the word trust. The second generation is sparing no effort to continue doing that, maintaining, reinforcing the word trust.
With that in mind, it naturally follows that every facet of the brand's efforts focus not just on products alone, but on the complete Po Heng shopping experience based on building relationships with its customers. Through the years, Po Heng has been widely known for its quality gold jewelry. But in 2001, the company decided that it was time to refresh the brand.
Actually, Po Heng's business philosophy has never changed. But we do realize that a new generation of Singaporeans don't read the traditional Chinese writing. And so we changed our logo to the simplified version. Together, we also changed our tagline.
In keeping up with the times, the brand's products and services are also catered to the independent spirit of its modern female customers.
Women of today are more independent with higher disposable income. From 60 years ago, we have to upgrade the Po Heng experience constantly. This comes in two aspects. One is the expectation of the customer, the kind of service. It is very different from 60 years ago. Very personalized. We always have the best interest at heart. And second thing is in terms of product. Product keep changing, and we literally have to follow what the Europeans are doing, even to the extent of the autumn collection, the spring collection kind of thing. So we brought in two house brands. One is All 22, which are 22K gold, but very, very different in its look. And I Trust Me, which is mostly diamond studded, also very sophisticated. We always have to keep ahead of time, not just keeping up.
Without doubt, Po Heng's enduring commitment to delivering their brand promise has seen them remain at the forefront of their industry for over half a decade. By any other measurement, it is truly a gold standard that is difficult to follow.
Branding is an identity of confidence that you strive to establish with your audience. You and I can be a brand. Our actions and performance speak for that identity. In today's world, it takes more than just confidence to bring the brand to the next level. The branding strategy has to get the eyeballs into the brand. It has to have the wow and woo factor to constantly engage and create excitement in the market.
Fei Fah Medical Manufacturing has transformed under the stewardship of Mr. Lawrence Lau from a traditional shop to a structured, professionally managed enterprise. A process that Fei Fah is hoping to intensify with the branding of its new venture, Ripple.
Ripple itself is a brand that we came up in 1998. So back then our intention was to break away from our primary brand, which was Fei Fah. Under the Ripple umbrella itself, we do have a comprehensive range of health supplements ranging from Mate tea, goat's milk powder, cholesterol milk powder, and many others. Over the last couple of years, particularly into 2011, we are deliberately making an effort to move away from marketing platforms that we have previously embarked on before. In recent campaign, we have actually engaged Mediacorp celebrity Chen Yifeng to become our brand ambassador. We are also into a lot of mediums that we have not tried before, the out-of-homes like buses, billboards, the broadsheets, tabloids, magazines. We are having TVCs on the Celestial channels as well. Then on top of that, we are also trying to reach out to the netizens via our online marketing campaigns.
After the break, we take a look at Ripple's efforts in extending the brand into Hong Kong. Welcome back to Branded for Success. It is clear that Ripple is hoping to create waves amongst a younger demographic. In doing so, the branding efforts are concentrated on creating an image that is a clear break from the branding of its parent company.
Our target audience is still the more senior as well as the more Mandarin-speaking group. We are trying to break out of that with Ripple. We have big and strong ambitions for Ripple as a brand, and we want the brand to be perceived as a premium healthcare brand among the consumers, and it has to be placed alongside some of the big multinational brands. We also want it to be the top of mind recall for consumers. If consumer has a need for general healthcare or well-being, they will think of Ripple.
When you create a new extension of an established brand, a clean slate is sometimes necessary. At the same time, the branding strategies of one brand in different countries may not necessarily be cast in the same mold, as seen with Ripple's branding campaigns in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, the competition for almost everything is very, very intense. It doesn't limit to product and services, but also in terms of your advertising campaign. That is why, even for advertisement, the content, the message that you bring across has to have a very strong differentiation, something very different, non-conventional, something that you can grab their eyeballs. Compared to Singapore, the pace of the television commercial content has to work at a slower pace for the audience to absorb gradually. Unlike Hong Kong, whereby time is a critical factor.
With Ripple, Fei Fah has succeeded in creating a new identity forged out of the strengths of an older, established brand. Without diluting either, it has allowed the company to speak to a wider demographic in a more targeted manner.
Yummy House has been around in the market for about 3.5 years' time, since year 2007.
When introducing a new product to the market, branding is a crucial part of that communication. It allows the customers to associate quickly with what the product stands for and gives the product differentiation from its competitors.
A brand is actually a name, an image that make the customer easier to remember you, to recognize your products, your company. Branding is a long-term investment. Some of the business, they might think about the short-term profit and loss, how much money they can generate for the business. But a brand, it can easily take up 10 years to build up. But a brand, it can exist for more than 100 years.
Yummy House has locked onto that from the start, and it is evident from their shopfront design and packaging to the face of the brand, what the brand stands for.
Well, Yummy House has a very good and unique product. So the product actually can speak by itself. During this 3.5 years' time, we've done a lot of branding strategies. We actually make ourselves different from all other brands in the market. We also done a lot of TVC, and we advertise on the newspaper, even a magazine as well. A lot of our customers come into our outlets by